But what's interesting about the scant uniform that we see Uhura really rock, because let's be real,
Yeah.
she rocks it. So does Majel Barrett. But what's interesting about this is, to the original audiences, this would have been a symbol of female empowerment.
Oh yeah, the miniskirt.
Because it was the era of the mini skirt, and so if you were willing to go out and recognize that this was a thing, like, you were very much, being part of your female power. And it's interesting because a lot of TOS is about restricting female power.
Shout out to Dax. Shout out to Dax for pointing that out.
Yep.
I mean, true. Yes.
Yep. Do you have any pictures where it showed Uhura from behind and she saw that miniskirt cut up in the back, showing off a bit more from behind there? Then yeah.
Right, because they were very much not cut for someone built like Nichellenichols. Because once again, when you have a largely white costume design department, we're not great at understanding black bodies.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about Uhura, because Uhura is significant for a number of reasons. So somebody who's not me needs to talk now.
Yeah, we just did a whole show on Uhura.
I mean, everybody's just gonna be like,
Well, in those early episodes, we saw her. We very barely saw her role as communications officer, but we did see in Charlie X. We saw her singing. I mean, obviously the comments to Spock in the Man Trap, and just some of that stuff. But then as the series went on, we did actually get to see that she was a very capable member of the crew. That she took over Navigator in one episode. She took command in an episode of the animated series. That Uhura was not there just because.
It's open.
Yes.
Okay. Although in that picture she doesn't know what's going on because she's playing Breakout. So what?
Well, no, there is one picture of you have all of the crew, crew minus Sulu on the bridge, and Michelle is posing, and everyone else is, basically as they would be, like looking at the controls, and Michelle's got, standing off to the side posing. But yeah, for the most part, she was shown to be very capable of her role. We saw Spock tell her that when she had to do rewiring at a communication station.
Right, which was huge. That was not something you would have seen. I mean, that wasn't something you would have seen women do. And then add on to that, how much of a boundary pusher it was to have a black woman doing that and showing the black woman as a competent figure. Now we have Celia Rose Gooding. Do we see significant differences between these two versions of the character?
Yes.
I mean, we see differences because the idea of the version of the character and the capabilities of the version of the character has evolved over 30 years.
I mean, she got a first name.
She got a name, first name.
Right? She got a family. She got a backstory.
Right? It only took how many years?
56.
I was going to say she hasn't danced, but has she danced? Did she dance in that episode I don't like? Well, everybody danced in that.
Yes, she did dance in that episode you don't like.
Right.
Not Space Rhapsody.
But yeah, they absolutely give her more screen time, give her more backstory.
A backstory, period.
Yeah, right. A backstory.
They're also much clearer about her qualifications.
Right. Well, she is a linguist, and something that it started with when they introduced Hoshi in Enterprise, and then when they came with the new movies, 2009, she was a xenolinguistics major, and it actually made sense. And
so they carried that on, right? Because that was very much an Abrams thing.
Right. I was going to say, now does it, after they have the UT, right, is that position necessary? But it obviously is, because you have Uhura and, was it her and Scotty? Not Scotty, her and Chekhov, and they're trying to talk Klingon?
That was her and Scotty and Chekhov.
It was everybody. I mean, they're literally got their dictionaries out and they're trying to...
In the scene that Nichellenichols absolutely hated because she said, I would have known the damn Klingon.
Right?
Yeah, she would have. It was supposed to be comical, but it was kind of a buffoonery of the scene. It's kind of like, come on. And the fact that it passed, even in screen, in movie, on script, the fact that passed through the Klingons, and they're just like, oh yeah, go ahead. You don't sound like a Terran idiot right now. And they're just like, they let that pass. That was.
Well, remind me, was that even Okuda's version of Klingon at that point, or was that
it was.
still?
No.
Because Jimmy Doohan did a lot of linguistic development for the various races in Star Trek. Yes.
You're blocking the speaker screen.
William?
Well, I think it's like that scene was really, really funny because I agree. I kind of didn't understand why. I guess it was just like it was a kind of foolery type scene, but in a way, it kind of reminded me of like the first episode of Enterprise when Hoshi tried to do Klingon, and that kind of tied it a little bit for me because it's just like they were not Klingons and Federation. Well, that wasn't even Federation back then anyway, but like they weren't buddies enough to probably understand language. In fact, there was a 100-year gap even when Discovery came along, right?
No, but Hoshi was more like if you think of a mathematician looking at a math problem, trying to figure it out, but she knows how to do math, but she's trying to figure out this new math problem. These guys are just throwing numbers on the floor and trying to rearrange it, like, oh, does this work? Oh, does this work?
I mean,